Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of March 27th. We're just going to jump right in here, Sag, and take a look at what's going on for you. You have this card that says the healing must be completed before your life can transform. You also have this angelic help card that says your angels are blessing you with new opportunities. It says your angels are assisting you. Wait, what does it say? Are assisting you. No, you will be provided for. So, and it also says you must ask your angels for help. So I feel like you need to ask for help at this time, and it could just be your angels, right? It could be people in your life who you see as angels as well. So, I would definitely do that, especially having the tower here. Again, the tower does come up quite a bit nowadays, and even this week, it's come up quite a few times for people. So, I think it's a sign of the times. We're going to see a lot of tower moments, but clearly, that card says before your life can transform. And the tower can represent a transformation. It can represent like a sudden upheaval, a sudden transformation, but it's a transformation nonetheless. So I feel like you are going through like some sort of deep transformation here in your life. And look at this. This is my favorite card in this deck for sure. So there's clearly a lot of happiness, or you are maybe you're going to be channeling happiness in your life is kind of what I'm getting at here for you, Sagittarius. But again, I think these two cards are very important. So I would ask for help if you can. The thing, kind of like the shock that I'm getting here in this row, Sag, is the death card. Well, obviously you see the shock right here, the lightning bolt hitting the top of the tower. But something people don't know is that this guy right here, this priest that is on the death card, he kind of represents like established belief or things that we have always believed. And some of you could be kind of like seeing the truth of a matter, or, there could be some sort of truth being exposed to you that you just didn't know, right? And this happens to everyone at some point in life. And when that happens, sometimes it could be like a shock to the system. But I feel like the faster you take control, Chariot, of the situation and you embrace the change, the faster you're going to be successful. Again, I always say that we have Neptune and Pisces until the end of 2025. Neptune and Pisces is like a direct challenge to traditional belief, things that we have believed because our great-great-great-great-great-grandparents maybe believed it. I mean, these things could be like genetic. That's how far back these things could go, right? That we believe. And so, it's really an amazing time to challenge established belief, just anything you've believed for a long time, and like figure out, is it true? And by the way, it doesn't mean you have to change your beliefs. It doesn't mean you have to do anything. It's just about like, why do I believe this? Why do I believe that, I can't eat cookies all day? Like, why not? Why can I not do that? And how can I do that? You never know. You might invent the cookie diet and become a billionaire. So again, this is why we want to challenge these beliefs, because you never know what you could create. You have the tower. Something's being triggered in you is what I feel. It's going to lead to a big transformation. Again, the reason I always say that the tower is actually a good card is because it's something that has to happen. The top of the tower is weak in the first place. These people have been ignoring reality. They've been ignoring the truth for too long. So the universe is bringing them back down to earth. And again, it might not be comfortable, but it's a good thing because you're seeing the truth. So again, people always say like, how dare you say that the tower is a good card? I'm like, well, it is. Tarot isn't good or bad, really. It just is. We will all always experience tower moments in life. It's just part of life. And again, hiding from it is not empowering. Facing it is what will empower you. And so again, I want to empower people. I'm not going to like sit here and be like, oh, there's this horrible thing happening you can do nothing about. No, the whole point of tarot is you can do something about this. So what do? You face the truth, right? Some sort of truth. You have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is a card of contemplation and apathy. I wouldn't get stuck here thinking, but I would look at, it's like maybe you're not in a wonderful situation, or maybe you're just trying to transform and change your situation. And the Four of Cups says that maybe you've been disappointed too many times in the past. So again, I really feel that part of your solution is clearly asking for help, whether that's your angels or, people in your life who you value, people in your community, or people who can pick up some burdens. It's like, look at this. You go this way, 10 of Wands, he's doing all the work on his own. On the 6 of Wands, there are people carrying some of the other wands so that he can be successful. And so, we're entering into a time of co-creation, I'd be asking for help. With the Death card, see, I knew there was like some sort of truth here that is coming out. It's like you see things very clearly, but you don't want to see them, which I totally understand. Here, Sagittarius, it's like sometimes you see the truth of a person, and I think this is something different for all of you. You know what I mean? It's like I don't even think it's one or the other, but it's like sometimes you see the truth of a person and you don't want to believe it. So what do? We stay in a relationship too long, causes a tower. Same thing with a job or business. Maybe our boss keeps telling us, oh, you're going to get a raise next week, then it's next week, then it's next week, and it never happens, but we stay. And I feel like this is saying, no, you've seen the truth. Avoid the tower moment. Avoid this because you see things clearly now, and you see things for how they are. It might not be a comfortable truth, but it is the truth. And now it's time for a transformation. With the Tower, here you go. You have the Six of Wands. Again, asking people for help will be very helpful. I also think someone doesn't, and by the way, here you go, Sagittarius. Someone doesn't think you have the balls, is what I would say here. Like, I feel like you could be surprising a person by leaving and not going back to them. So if this is a love situation, I feel like this person thinks they got you. You know, they got you by the short and curlies, as they say in the old country. But it's like, I actually think that you have them. And, well, or nothing. I think you're just going to let it go. So, don't be afraid to, I don't think you're proving anyone wrong here, but I would say don't be afraid to stick up for yourself and leave a situation, whether it's a relationship or otherwise. With the Four of Cups, you have the Nine of Cups, total fulfillment, coming in for you. I really feel that embracing the energy of what you want is going to be helpful as well, just to break you out of this pattern. It's kind of weird. I almost see this first row. The reason I'm spending so much time on it is because I see it's almost like a pattern. You have no cards that would represent that, but just intuitively, it's like I kind of feel maybe some of you have this pattern that you want to break. Because again, Four of Cups, kind of. Four of Cups is like he's experienced the same thing too many times, and so he's like disappointed. He's like, okay, I already know that what's in that cup is probably not something I'm going to want, even though maybe it is. So he's kind of like shooting himself in the foot, but at the same time, I feel like you're ending some sort of pattern here. Let's get more details. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have the Sea Turtle card. It says slow down, be patient, and persistent. You also have two cards, actually. You have the Spyglass. It says zoom in, take a closer look. So I feel like some of you need to kind of like slow down and look at like what you want your life to look like in the first place, because it's like you might think like you want a person, but when you actually examine their life, you're like, I don't want any part of that. So, sometimes, again, as a person who has done this, I have done this. Again, I am far from perfect, Sagittarius, if you can believe it, right? I know that might come as a shock to some of you, but I am far from perfect. And, I've been with people where it's like, after I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? This person is a mess. So, I feel like some of you need to maybe realize that about a situation, but you're not going to realize it unless you take a kind of like a closer look. I also kind of feel on the Nine of Wands, you have the Nine of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. On the Nine of Wands here, I almost feel that you are like it's like the bites that you're taking out of something are too big. And by the way, this is the area of the unexpected. I don't get anything unexpected for you, just so you know. I think this is just straightforward advice. But what I would say is that, I kind of feel like the bites that you're taking out of something are too big. Like you want to accomplish something very, very quickly, but I think it would be just better for you overall to not necessarily, it's not like you're doing it slowly. I want to stress, I don't think you're doing something slowly. I think you're making something, more a part of yourself with the Nine of Cups. I don't really have any good examples for you other than it's like a lot of people diet and then they can't wait to like they automatically think, oh, when I reach my goal weight, then I'm gonna start eating pizza again or whatever, and I'm gonna get off the diet, which is why people go up and down, right? So I kind of feel like this is saying, no, you're not gonna go on a diet, you're gonna make something a lifestyle. And I'm not saying it's a diet, I'm just using that as an example here, Sagittarius. It's almost like you're integrating some beliefs, or you're integrating a new way of being into your life. And this is the realization you're having that is going to cause this transformation. Is like, I feel like you're realizing like, no, I have to make something part of my life. I have to make something, who I am. And that looks to me, that is coming from the Nine of Cups. Again, Nine of Cups is a card of bathing in an energy. It's like becoming the energy of what you want before you have it. And that's what I see you doing here. You have the Queen of Cups, and again, this would have to do with your heart. Same with the Ace of Cups as well, which you have right below her. The Queen of Cups, she really values her feelings above everything else, and so she wants to feel good in life. She wants to follow her heart. And a lot of you, I feel, maybe need to take some time to kind of get down to that. But where I was going, by the way, I don't think I finished my thought about the big bites. It's like some people, I think they try to lose like weight as quickly as possible, right? So they try to lose almost too fast, then they don't see the results, and then they get disappointed. Again, I think you're slowing something down in the sense that you're getting more, you're kind of like celebrating the small bites, right? The small wins, which is actually going to lead to longer success. And I feel like you're also saying, like, I don't care how long this takes, I'm just going to do it. Whatever it is that you're doing, doesn't matter. And, that's exactly what I would be doing. I also think that the smaller bites, again, my whole point of that as well, if I can't get this point across, was that the smaller bites are actually going to lead to much more progress, much quicker than just trying to take these gigantic, chunks out of whatever you're trying to do here. So I actually think you're going to see that maybe you start slow, but I actually think success and progress comes much, much faster than you think by taking those smaller steps. You have the Ace of Cups. I do feel like there could be love here, although I do not think that it's a major focus for you in this reading. So the Ace of Cups is probably just talking about your own fulfillment and, again, doing things that make you feel fulfilled. Look at this. 9 of Wands, you have the 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles is everything you want in life. It is the tree of life. It does not mean that you will have everything you want in your life right now. 10 of Pentacles, as I always say, it's like a living, breathing thing. It is something that we have to work on for the rest of our lives. It's something that most people do. The thing is because it's like building, leaving a legacy. But everybody leaves a legacy, but how big or small it is just depends on like how much work you put in. So I feel like this is something you're working on, is creating like financial success in life and all those other things. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Sun. Best card in the deck, so definitely a lot of happiness coming in for you. I always say that the sun shines a light on things that we need to pay attention to, so make sure that you are paying attention to like the important stuff in your life. Make sure you're paying attention to things that are good, that are going to lead to success. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords could be new love, could be an air sign coming in for you if you're looking for love. Could be someone younger than you, but doesn't have to be. I also feel this could just be a very childlike connection if you are looking for love. So, take it how it resonates. Next, in the area of what you need to hear right now, you have this message of concern and you have this courthouse card. Some of you could definitely be dealing with, like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, you could definitely be dealing with a court battle type situation here. If we look at this, you have the 5 of Wands, the 10 of Wands, which is like a bird, a fight, a burden, and then 6 of Swords is like moving on. So, some of you could be like trying to move on. I also kind of feel like this is just saying that you will get to the other side. So if you're going through like a divorce, a separation, or a court issue, whatever it is, I do feel like you will, ultimately be successful. I feel like eventually, obviously, this situation is going to come to an end and you will get to the other side. For others, I do feel like maybe you feel like you have to go to court. Maybe you have to take a person to court or something. And it is popping into my head. And the other thing is it's like, even though maybe you're right and, whatever, right? It's still an annoying situation to deal with. So, I kind of feel like that's why it's showing up like this. Like, you might end up winning whatever this is in the future if you have to take a person to court, for example. But it might just be, it's like the whole process is just a process, right? And so this kind of is telling me that for some of you, it's just kind of like a process. For others, 5 of Wands is a card of conflict and competition, but it's like you have 2 cards here, competition, and I was getting teamwork on the 6 of Wands because it's like these other people are holding those wands for him. And so I kind of feel like you have a choice. You can look at something that you're entering into in your life as being competitive, or you can figure out how to be co-creative. You can figure out how to work together with other people. Case in point, I started my newsletter where I'm working together with other readers. It's like I've never, tarot, I don't know what it is with the tarot community, but it's super toxic, right? So it's like not a lot of people have wanted to be part of the newsletter. Actually, a lot. I've had like 200 people sign up for that, but not a lot of the readers, right, have signed up to be part of that, which is fine. But, again, it's like interesting. It's like I'm looking at it as co-creative. Everybody looks at it as competitive for whatever reason, which is weird because it's tarot. You'd think that everybody would be more co-creative, but they're not. So, again, I feel like some of you, it's like you have a choice. You can look at it, competitively or co-creatively, whatever you're entering into. And again, I would focus on co-creation because we're entering into Pluto and Aquarius. That's why I did this in the first place. You have the 10 of Wands. Again, you can't carry all the burdens yourself. So definitely a time to ask for help or to ask people for help. I think it's just going to lead to success much faster. He's about to reach his home in the background here, and Ten of Wands can definitely represent, kind of getting to the end of a burden. So I do feel like some of you are ending burdens in your life, which is obviously a good thing. You have the Six of Swords as well. So again, I feel like if you are in a court battle, that you are getting to the end of that. For the rest of you, I feel like you're just moving on to calmer shores in your life. Let's get more detail on this. With the Five of Wands, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Could be a settlement. Again, I'm not a lawyer, so, do not take this as legal advice, but it's like, I think sometimes maybe we get offered a settlement or whatever, and I kind of feel like this is saying like, hey, if you it's like you might not get everything you want in a legal situation, but if you take the settlement, it's like you can end the legal situation. And again, sometimes we're on the losing side, right? And I kind of feel like this is saying, this might obviously only be for like one of you, but it's like saying, do you want to stay stuck in this situation for more years to come, or do you just want to end it? It's like, where would your energy be better used, right? And so I feel like some of you have to decide that. This could be some other type of battle as well. Again, it could be with like a person in your life, not legal. It could just be like some sort of, conflict. And I feel like this is saying like, by focusing on that, it's taking you away from Ace of Pentacles, something like a much bigger opportunity. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Five of Cups. Like I feel like you've been dealing with like disappointments just in general, like in love. And the Five of Cups, again, we have to be grateful for what we do have. And then when we see the bridge and the castle behind us. So I always tell people, like, look at what you do have with the Five of Cups, not on what you don't have. I also feel like you need to look at like all the progress that you've made. With the Six of Swords, you have the Tower again. So again, some of you are clearly just choosing to move on from this Tower situation over here. The Six of Swords would say you're going across the choppy waters here. Sorry, wrong camera. So I feel like Tower. And the Six of Swords says you're moving across the choppy waters. So I feel like you were kind of like, ending something. Some of you, again, I think what people don't realize about the Six of Swords is that, again, this woman and the child, they only have the clothing on their back. They're leaving everything behind. So for a lot of you, this Tower might not be as bad as it seems. Like you might be starting over in some area of your life with like nothing but the clothes on your back. But really, actually, you're going to calmer shores. You're going to a much better place in life. And I kind of get that here. At the end, for the good stuff, doesn't matter what shows up here. It's going to be good no matter what. You have this happy card, which is my favorite card in this deck. And you have this unlock card. So it's like something is being unlocked for you here, Sagittarius. And it could be like a little bit of a blessing in disguise with the Tower showing up twice in your reading for sure. So some of you could be walking away from a situation, but what you don't realize, again, is that you're actually freeing yourself up to have like a much better, brighter future. Again, I don't really have any good examples, but again, like I said, maybe you're in a legal situation, maybe you're in a divorce, and instead of like fighting for the next 10 years over everything, it might be better just to let some things that don't really matter go. Do you really need the fridge? Do you really need the blackboard? Do you really need the TV? Do you really need the mini fridge? Probably not. You can probably get those things later. And again, I feel like this is saying it's not about winning or losing, whatever the situation is. And again, it might not even be a legal matter. Some of you might be just trying to win or lose in something else like business or competition. I think it's more about, again, you will be winning if you do this because you're going to free up the energy to work on other opportunities, which will allow you to buy many more fridges in the future if that's what you're worried about, right? And I kind of feel like that's what this reading is talking about. Hope that makes sense. Probably not. You have the Six of Wands, the Chariot, and the Hangman. Six of Wands, of course, is a victory. So again, I feel like you will end up victorious in the end anyway. I also feel like working together with other people, of course, will be super beneficial and will just lead to a lot of success. You can see that he's winning. He's on the horse. So it's like sometimes I think people are afraid to work with people because they're afraid that other people are going to steal their credit, but I don't think that could be further from the truth here. You have the Chariot, another victory here, so definitely a major victory. I really feel you need to set yourself apart as well. The Chariot, he's leaving that city behind him and he's doing this so that he can be unique. He's trying to set himself apart, and that's the whole point, is that everyone in that city might be exactly the same, but he wants to go somewhere where he can stand out from the competition. So a lot of you, again, could be just moving on from something, and you might be being placed somewhere where you can stand out, where you can actually get attention or actually get the recognition that you deserve. And I feel like this reading is kind of talking about the recognition that you deserve. You have the hangman here. So I feel like you have all the answers. Time to move forward. Again, don't ignore things. I kind of feel like the tower is like saying, I think I said this earlier in a reading. It's kind of like saying, don't ignore things that could be a tower where you clearly see they're not, like something isn't working, or maybe you clearly see that a person in a relationship is a liar. I feel like this, or that you're not going to get a raise, whatever the case may be. I feel like this is saying like it's time to go. With the Six of Wands, you have the Three of Wands. What are you waiting for? Three of Wands is a card of expansion, though. And again, in the area of the good stuff, it would definitely suggest that your ships are coming in. With the Chariot, you have the Four of Swords. I feel like you're about to get a break. Like you're about to get a vacation. Maybe not literally. Could be like a staycation, or could just be a little break. But I feel like it's a break that you need. So definitely feel that with the Four of Swords. With the hangman, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like you're getting the resources you need as well. Like, let's say you've, wanted to leave a job. You could be, but maybe you work so much that you don't have the time to go to interviews. You could be like taking a week off, going on a bunch of job interviews and getting a much better job. It kind of is, I don't know, it's like, that's how it's popping to my head. You could finally be leaving a relationship as well. There is a lot here about like freeing up your time. Remember what I said. It's like, it seems to me like, I feel like this reading isn't very clear, but I do feel like right here is super important. I kind of feel like it's saying, it's not like you're wasting your time, but I do feel like there's kind of like two paths, or, an opportunity here where you could either stay stuck or free up a bunch of time, and I would choose that option. You have this Quill card. It says, get back to basics. Yeah, keep it simple for sure at this time. You have this Vulture card that says depression, anxiety, worry that someone is against you. Some of you, this could just be fear. It could be the fear of competition, or the fear of, whatever. Speaking of other readers, since all this stuff has happened on YouTube, I've seen other readers talking about getting cursed, other readers targeting their channel, lowering their views, which isn't possible. I don't know how that would be possible. Like all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, none of that is happening. It's just YouTube is changing, right? So don't become paranoid. And that's what I feel like this card is saying. And it's like, where is the opportunity in what you're doing? Vultures are masters at finding opportunity. They're also masters of conservation of energy. They just soar around. They don't flap their wings until they see food, and then they go for the food, as I always say. So, me, again, use me as an example. I'm taking advantage of this, started building a list, started working on shorts, started doing all these other things, right? There's an opportunity here, and so I would take advantage of it. Don't just be like, oh, people are cursing me. No. You have this Moon card. It says changes in your life. So there are clearly some positive changes going on here, but the big changes, some of them might not seem positive. They might be blessings in disguise. You have this Torch. It says spiritual development, enlightenment, hangman, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. So I do feel for a lot of you, you are kind of going through this, period where you're making some changes. You have this Well. It says family wishes come true. Love it. So there could be some wishes come true. Can we get more detail on that? I have two cards. You have this Tankard. It says celebration, fun, and enjoyment. You also have this Lobster that says financial pinch. I do feel like you should go enjoy yourself, even if financially. We kind of saw this with the Queen of Pentacles, actually, because even though she's showing up in the good stuff, she can represent needing to be resourceful. So I feel like some of you are saying, like, I will, do this when. It's like I feel like some of you are like delaying happiness or joy. And I feel like this is it's saying like, no, you need to be happy right now, and then you will get the happiness and joy that you desire. So just choose to be happy, and I feel like it'll come. Kind of an interesting reading. I'm not sure how I feel about this, honestly. I don't think it's bad. I just think you're going through, a significant change here, Sagittarius. So hopefully that makes sense. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it, and definitely enjoy your week.